Hello friends, this is Mark from the Human-Cetacean Alliance and I'm currently in northern Germany where my friend Miriam is graciously hosting me in her beautiful village. And we are here, you see the little lake behind our back, very beautiful green environment. And today we want to talk to you about beluga whales. We have some beluga stories for you that illustrate how some of these belugas have really had a profound impact on the evolution of human society. And our first story happened not very far from this place. It happened in the northern Germany, um, on the, I guess you could say, at the mouth, or not very far from the mouth of the mighty Rhine River, right?
Yes, that's right. It's not really northern Germany, it's western Germany, but
But the
it
north of
started
western
in the
Germany.
north. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, it happened in 1966.
My year of birth,
Oh, really? So it
absolutely.
was your birthday present, yes.
Um,
There was a beluga whale which appeared in May of 66 and stayed till June. He cruised the Rhine River for about 1 month. And I say he because he was named Moby Dick. Nobody knew whether he was a he or she, but everyone called him Moby Dick.
because he was white,
He was white, yes, he was white.
but not
And
as big as Moby Dick, actually.
no, he was a young beluga whale. And there is a lady from Switzerland, Isabel Schaub. She wrote a book about this story. We did research on this beluga whale. And I first heard of it when I was a school kid, when I was in primary school.
Okay.
In 1968, there would still be children's paintings on the walls depicting a whale in the river. And I was told by my friend that they had spotted a whale, a real whale in Cologne. Yes, and I saw a documentary on TV in 2002 depicting this story. Supposedly, this young whale came from the St. Lawrence River in Canada. Uh, for, for whale babies, actually, very young whales were caught in a fisher net in one of the rivers mouth to the St. Lawrence River, and this is a region where beluga whales are appearing in thousands. And there was an English zoo on the English East Coast. They had a dolphinarium, and they wished to show whales, the beluga whales. During those times, they were used for attraction, to have fun, similar to dolphins, for shows, and kept in basins in zoos. So these 4 whales were caught, brought to a ship on 2 basins, and this ship moved to the east coast of England. And in early May of 66 or 65, I don't remember, I think it was even 65, a huge storm came up and 2 of the whales were swept into the ocean. They were lost.
Good for them.
Yes, good for them. The other 2 died. They passed away, very sadly. And this is how people explained how this beluga might have appeared in the Rhine River. He was spotted in Duisburg on May 18th of 1966. Duisburg was then in the chimney pot, the main industrial area of Western Germany. Yes, and the rivers were highly polluted. Fish were dying in the thousands, floating on top of the rivers. They were smelling very disgusting. Those waters from the Rhine River, it was horrible. Well, and this white whale was first spotted in Duisburg, which meant he had made some more than 200 kilometers in the Rhine River.
Yeah. Which, incidentally, cetaceans can do. So it's very uncommon in the Rhine River, of course, but there are rivers where dolphins and orcas, for instance, they swim upstream from the sea, and they can go pretty far.
Yes, it was not the first one. There was one in 1668, I think, who made it to Basel in Switzerland.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes, that is very impressive. And another one in the 18th century, a dolphin who even went further down up the river than this beluga whale. So there were several whales and dolphins spotted in the Rhine River, but not in the 20th century. So the river police would be alarmed immediately, and they called in the director of the Duisburg Zoo. It was a young man by that time called Dr. Gewald, and Gewald means in translation violence. His name was Violent.
That sounds very promising.
Yes, and they had...
At least he was not called Dr. Mengele.
No. They just had constructed a big dolphinarium, and they also wanted to keep whales in there. So he tried to hunt this whale, expressing his concern for the poor creature in this dirty river that might not have his normal food of octopus.
I'm sure he was speaking from the goodness of his heart.
Yes. So he took means immediately, and it immediately went to the press, and the next day would be Father's Day and Ascension Day, which is the same in Germany. The weather was nice, so people would come to the river by thousands with their picnics and their binoculars and tried to spot the whale, and he immediately started his hunt with a rifle, first with a pistol. He wanted to put the whale... Yes, he wanted to put the whale under anesthesia and then catch him for the zoo to rescue him. So
to rescue him.
Yes. This was not successful, so they chose bigger rifles. He even managed to hit him once, but with no effect. Luckily, but he might have suffocated. Belugas need to breathe, they need to come up and breathe. It was even difficult to really haunt him, because he would go up the Rhine River and then silently underwater down the Rhine River.
I like that attitude.
Yes, and sometimes he would be crossing from one bank to the other, making fun for the kids on the beaches, and he even made it for the fun of a wedding party. When they were sitting down for lunch, he would show up and do his jokes in the water.
That's so cool.
Yes, the bride was supposed to break out in tears because she loved him so much. It was a big attraction for the people living close to the river, and they would come from far away with their diving gears and with their cameras to watch the whale. And this Dr. Gewald, he didn't manage to catch him. He tried to have a net. He wished to put a net across the Rhine River.
Oh.
First, they would connect...
Nothing less.
Yes, they would connect several tennis nets, which was not successful.
Wow.
So the German textile industry gave them yarn to make a real huge net, which did not work. So they decided for a fence. They tried to construct a fence made of wooden sticks, which of course was not successful.
I have to say that sounds pretty maniacal.
Yes, it was. They tried to go to other rifles. They used bows and bigger rifles, and they even brought in a Native American who knew how to use very special arrows, and one of the arrows stuck in the back of the whale. They were very concerned that he might get an infection. They couldn't catch him. He would go underwater for 45 minutes and then come up in a very different location.
Isn't it interesting that they couldn't outsmart the beluga?
Yes. They tried to fix a buoy, what do you call it, buoy?
Yeah.
On his back with a string so they could always see where he is. It was not successful, but after about a week, people rose up and even the tabloid papers, they would show their concerns for this relentless hunt. They would criticize Dr. Gewald severely, and he was attacked, and some animal protectors would use a plane and throw oranges into the river. Oranges would be
From
orange.
From a plane?
Yes, from a little plane. Oranges would be yellow like the boy, so you couldn't make it up where he was. And people were trying to feed them with their sandwiches because they were told he wouldn't find any food in the river. So he went up and down and up and down. They were not able to catch him, and real concern arose about this poor being, and he was spotted with several gun holes in his back from hunters who tried to get hold of him. Yes, after some, I think it was 2 unsuccessful weeks, he decided to go back to the North Sea, and very fast he made his way to the Netherlands.
So maybe what we can, the information we can give about these bullet impacts is that cetaceans have a very, very thick skin, and under the very thick skin they have a thick layer of fat that technically is called blubber. So that explains why they can get shot wounds and not be really harmed by that.
Yes, but he might have caught some serious infection due to the polluted water.
Yeah.
And then when he reached the Netherlands, he would be protected. The police and the zoo directors of the Netherlands, they were upset by the German attempts to get hold of the whale. They would even give him some police boats to protect him to reach the North Sea, which he almost did. He came to the Eiselmeer, which is a large lake, which is separated from the North Sea, and he would stay there and then decide to return to the river. In the Netherlands, he would be called Willy the Whale. They chose a different name for him.
It's another vibe, yeah.
Yes, Willy the Whale. So Willy or Moby Dick, he started his tour again up the river, and he made it till Bonn. Bonn by then was the capital of Germany, a little small town close to the Rhine River, and all the buildings of the government would be close to the river. So he would pass the Bundestag, Bundesrat, all those houses of
that whale had a plan, I'm telling you.
Yes, and people were very much attracted to him. There would be a press conference in one of those houses. It was in the Bundeshaus. A huge press conference concerning some NATO and EWU stuff, which was the precursor of the EU. And then the appearance of Moby Dick was announced, and they interrupted the press conference. Yes, it was an international press conference, and they would all run to the banks of the river.
What a star!
Yes,
what a star!
To greet this whale, and he really would show up. He would make his jokes and be in the water for some time. Yes, and everybody was deeply moved. He continued his way a little further down the river, but not much. It was just his appearance in Bonn which had the most impact. And during those times, people became aware of the urgency to clean the river because they realized he had lost lots of pounds. He had become very thin, and he was not white anymore. He was showing dark spots. He was covered with dark spots. They really expressed their concern, and they became aware of the amount of the pollution, of the impact the industries had on the water quality of the river. They expressed their concern, and after his appearance close to the Bundestag or in front of the Bundestag, he would very quickly make his way to the North Sea. He would make 200 kilometers in a very short time. And after 1 month in the Rhine River, on June 19th, he would disappear into the North Sea and was never seen again.
Mission accomplished.
Yes, and he was called an emissary.
So an emissary is
Emissaries.
like a sort of ambassador.
Yes, he was sort of an ambassador. And his appearance...
But emissary has more of a spiritual connotation to it.
Yes,
in comparison with ambassador.
Yes, and it's not political. Yes, but this really started the Green movement in Germany. The Green Party did not exist. It would be founded about 10 years later, but it started the Green movement. And people would start to clean the waters before leading them into the rivers, and the industries had to take measures to prevent water pollution. And nowadays you can swim in the Rhine River, you can eat the fish which are swimming there. It made a huge difference, the appearance of Moby Dick in the Rhine River. And the TV was full of stories about Moby Dick. Lots of songs had been created, and of course jokes. Especially the tabloid press would be full of articles, but also
that's gold for them.
Yes,
that's
also
gold.
Also other newspapers, and even in the UK, and it even went to the United States, and it appeared in the news in the United States, and school children would learn about whales. Yes, it really had an impact, and he was not the only whale who would later on called an emissary. Yes, that was the story of Moby Dick.
Yes, so it's a very, very beautiful and a very striking story, because when I said mission accomplished, I think it's pretty clear that this beluga was really on a mission for Mother Earth and for human society, and was very qualified to accomplish that mission, because nothing that was attempted to capture it succeeded. And he knew exactly where to go and when to go there to have the maximum impact. So this soul, well, at least that's how it appeared in the physical realm, that this soul cetacean being, this soul beluga whale, initiated such a profound change in German society and beyond, of a much more respectful attitude towards nature, towards what was called at the time the environment, as if it was something that is around us but that we're not part of. Yeah, it is so striking, so striking.
Yes.
So you can see the really deep intelligence of these beings, how connected they are, and also it is a very striking example of what my work is about, which is the Human-Cetacean Alliance. And regarding that work, I am now joining forces with Miriam since we are going to facilitate my next Madeira retreat together in early November. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's a whale watching and swimming with dolphins event with, of course, a deeper dimension to it, which is the deeper relationship with dolphins and whales. So, real communication with them, heart to heart communication, and real cooperation for mutual empowerment, for service to the mother planet and humanity, to the cetacean species as well, and um, and marine life, because yeah, we have cleaned the Rhine. We also need to clean the oceans, and not just from physical pollution, from material, not just from material pollution. So yeah, that's the Rhineland beluga story. There are others. There is one that I'm aware of that is much more recent. That happened a few years ago. I don't remember what year exactly, but it happened on the Norwegian coast, where beluga was spotted in the territorial waters around a little town in the north of Norway, and he became quite the attraction. And in this case, we know that it was a he. You know, he was identified, properly identified as a he, and nobody knows exactly how he arrived there. But there was a rather remarkable circumstance around that, which is that he was wearing a harness. So the man who found him, who was the first to spot him, I don't remember whether he was a fisherman, but he was able to remove the harness. Um, Now, you know, belugas are like teddy bears. They are so sweet. They are such loving beings, and they are so eager to relate with humans, to interact with humans, in spite of all the ideological discourse of we have to let them live their life, you know, they are wild animals, and they are not meant to interact too much with humans, because then they are going to somehow be, I don't know, polluted by that interaction. They're going to lose their, or at least their, to a certain extent, their natural instincts might get compromised. Also, they could be bothered. They could be bothered by human presence. All these narratives that can be true to a certain extent, but definitely not when it comes to cetaceans. Absolutely not. Everything, of course, is a matter of how you approach them. And the really crux of the matter is not to impose anything upon them, to really give them the initiative and respect their freedom. But there was a story. There was a story that was told that this beluga was probably originally a spy whale, you know, trained by the
Military.
Russian
Military.
military, because the Russian military had a reputation for using beluga whales as spy whales. What is a spy whale? A spy whale, it is, or dolphin whale for that matter. It's a cetacean to whom you attach a camera, basically. Um, so the reason why that story was spread was because, as we were told, that um, harness had printed letters on it and these letters spells the word or the name St. Petersburg. Now, I don't think the military would be very keen to put uh, the word of one of their major cities on the harness of a spy whale, personally. That doesn't make much sense. But if St. Petersburg was really written on that harness, it seems to me that a more likely explanation was that possibly some Russian oligarch fancied having a beluga pet. That sounds much more rational as an explanation. But of course, already at the time there was a lot of Russophobia going on in the Western media. So okay, enough about that. That beluga was called, maybe as a tribute to President Putin, that beluga was called Vladimir by the local people, and he became quite the attraction. Like Moby Dick slash Little Whale, he became a star, an absolute star. There were hordes of tourists who were coming to the area to watch Vladimir, and he was, as belugas are, very keen to interact with people and to make his circus tricks and to play with people. And there was a concern from some that he might become unable to find his food by himself because people were feeding him, and he had made a salmon farm his home base, basically. So of course they were feeding him salmons, but he proved that concern wrong. So at some point he started to swim further from the coast, going on excursions, and proving perfectly able to feed himself in the ocean. But he wasn't part of any. There is some noise around now from vans, but we'll keep talking because it's not that disturbing. Just know that if you hear some humming in the background, that's a van with workers passing by. So what was I saying? He nevertheless kept the salmon farm as his home base because he was a solitary beluga. He was not part of any pod, and humans were his tribe now. So he wanted to stay near humans, and he was sort of assisting the people working at the salmon farm with their work, and assisting fishermen because they're always very driven by the spirit of cooperation, cetaceans in general. So he wanted to earn his keep, apparently.
Yes, and he showed up for amazing pictures. You find beautiful pictures of him in the internet.
Yeah. So unlike Moby Dick, Willie the Whale, you'll find literally hundreds of clips with Vladimir the beluga. And he did such an amazing job opening people's hearts. Extraordinary. He had such a powerful impact, and was spreading so much love and wonderment. And the story didn't end as well as Moby Dick's story, because ultimately he was found dead from bullet impact, and there had been some rather ominous warning signs about that, because in discussions people had been heard, when there were discussions about what should we do about all the activity, all the hectic activity that this is attracting to the town, because it at some point, at some times, it felt really overwhelming, and some would just say, well, what's the big deal? Just kill it. So apparently, someone at some point took it upon themselves to actually do the deed, which of course, in the way I see it, that doesn't just come from unsensitive humans. There are other forces at work here, because when you have such an event where so many people get their heart opened and there is so much love in the air, there are forces that feel very, very uncomfortable about that, and feel very threatened about it, and who are guaranteed to react and try to make it stop. So it's pretty clear to me that this is what happened in this case, and now these forces, I would say, they are at the end of their rope. You know, they are in their final throes. Seemingly, they can still trigger a lot of chaos, but not for very long anymore. They are on their way out. So that was my beluga story, and we'll keep it at that for the moment. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for listening. Regarding the Madeira retreat, you can find all the explanations on my website, which is in the video description. And we will see you again soon for other duo videos, as long as I'm here in Germany. In the meantime, have fun, have a great time, take care, and see you soon.
Bye.